This is Marton, owner and trainer for Fitness, and the goal of this video is to discuss ways to make fitness work for you. I got into it just being interested in a bunch of different things. You know, seeing certain people that are really fast, certain people that are really strong, certain people that are really flexible. Some people have a good combination of each one, or a combination of being strong and fast, or whatever the combination was with certain people. And then not only that, for me, just the curiosity on doing certain things and being able to do it a certain way. I think if I remember correctly, one of the earliest memories, I think when my dad has 5 kids, and I think one of the earliest memories was he would send us out to, I think his 3 oldest kids, I think he would send us out to get the groceries. I think, and there's a possibility he might have just sent me and maybe my cousin, with us being boys, and not send my sisters who are 4 years older. And there's a chance he probably didn't send them. But whoever it was he will send us out to get groceries. And I know, and from again one of my earliest memories as far as that stuff, probably at 6, 7. Yeah, I think at 6 or 7. And whenever I got groceries, I would always kind of get mad once I grabbed the groceries if it felt like I had a certain amount of weight in one arm compared to the other. So I would I would always try to grab as many bags as I could, trying to get more bags than my cousin or my sister or whoever it was that was getting groceries with me at the time, probably my cousin. And if I grabbed a certain number of bags and I couldn't really fit any more bags in my hand, and I noticed that one side had more weight on it, I would get upset because it just felt like that shouldn't be a thing. So I would either start to add, 1 or 2 bags on the other hand, or switch all the bags to that hand and put the other ones in the other hand, and try to make it to where both sides felt that amount of weight, whatever the weight was. Especially back then, it seemed like milk was always the heaviest thing in the bag, from what I remember. And again, it might not seem like anything to anybody else, but for me, it just seemed like, especially with what I've been doing over the last 12 or so years, is making sure that there's equal strength and equal balance on both sides, both arms, both legs, whether you're a boxer, football player, track and field, you're a mom, whatever it is, for any of us to have equal strength and equal balance. That thankfully I don't hear it as much anymore, but to hear someone say, I'm left-handed, I'm right-handed, you got 2 hands. Many of us have 2 hands, 2 legs. Why are you focusing? Excuse me. Why are you focusing on just this one side so much? Excuse me. Just because you're left or right-handed, you got 2 arms. Try to make it to where you're as strong and as balanced on both sides. And again, that's what makes it for me to where, for a lot of people, one of the reasons they're not doing this because it's boring. So thankfully I'm weird enough for that stuff to matter, and for me to be able to find different ways to make my workouts fun. So that's what it's about for me, is to not only do this but to make it fun, because if it wasn't fun, there's a strong possibility I wouldn't do it either, unless my competitive side kicked in more often, which it did, to where I might have done it whether I liked it or not, just out of the competitive side of having the cousins and the siblings, and the friends that I had growing up, to where maybe if I didn't like it, but at the same time, I think one of the reasons I like it was the competitive side of it. And then I just fell in love with, well, what about the strength, and what about the balance, and what about the flexibility, and what about the speed? And it just made it difficult for me to be bored, and then just find different ways to, okay, well, what about this, and what about this, and what about going here, and what about going there, and what about doing it with a certain number of people. And again, it just makes it to where I'm not really bored, and then hopefully for my clients, they're not really bored either. And then even if they are not really fans of the workouts because they just hate it that much, not necessarily me, but the workouts or whatever it is, the fact that you see that if you keep to it, whatever form it is, that is, that is working. That's what it should be about for the most part, is that it's working. Hopefully it's fun, but that is definitely working, and what you're doing is worth it and has great value. Whether you're doing it on your own or you have me as your trainer, whatever the case may be. So again, whether you're doing it by yourself, you're doing it you're doing it with at least one other person, if not 7 other people, or however it is doing it, it's working, and then hopefully it's actually fun. This is Martone, owner, trainer, Fuller Fitness, and I hope you're ready for a good time.